So mine says the timer started at 36.
Eh? Mine's at 13 seconds.
Oh, okay. You know what? Fuck it.
Uh,
As long as you're getting a countdown, that's fine. I will just add a rough. Hey, I kind of know where I need to be then, time-wise. No problem. Play that funky intro, white boy. I
Alright,
still can't hear it.
trying to multitask, but yes, it was there. That reminds me, we need a new intro still sometime, some universe.
We do. Music and or clips. But you had a friend that you were going to chat to, so
Yes, and I will follow up with him because he was getting married and stuff. So I just didn't want to be that guy. Be like, hey, I know you're getting married, but in that intro,
are you feeling creative? Now that you've got a new lease on life, what do you say?
um,
One of those things. Speaking of videos, though, this is probably part two of our "What Have You Watched" clip. Yeah,
mm,
I still got a whole list here.
nice. Well, dude, I don't know if you want to kick it off then. Since you've got the
Can do. And this one you might have watched, and I think you have, but I don't know if it'll be on your list too. It was Army of the Dead, Zack Snyder
Oh,
film.
I did watch it. Flip, and I actually totally forgot. Okay, go. I can talk about this.
Okay, so I like the cast. I thought it was quite a cool casting. I've watched some interesting post film behind the scenes stuff, and that one chick, Tig Notaro, that comedian chick who flew the helicopter.
Okay.
Apparently, she came in right at the last minute. The dogs, and she apparently never like did anything with Batista or anything like that. Even though there's scenes where you seems like they were on the screen just at the same time, but she said no. It was similar to Jared Leto green screen kind of thing. They just stuck her with the green screen and certain props and that. And I think there was one or two of the other cast members that were there with her at certain times, or at least just reading their lines to her while she interacted. But
Mm.
weird kind of thing to do. But overall, I liked the cast, and I thought she was quite cool and quirky and funny. She's like that in general, and I think she'd added an interesting dynamic to the character and stuff. Um, I like how they interwove the whole. This is what happened to the world. This is what happened to some of these main characters at the start, like almost with the credits and everything. It was almost TV broadcasts, snippets to these people trying to survive this zombie apocalypse happening. I like how that almost set the scene for you right at the beginning and got the credits out of the way and all of that stuff. So that as the movie officially starts, you kind of have an idea of what's happened to get to the starting point. Um, Interesting way to do the film. Um, I liked take of intelligent zombies, zombies that were in their own way in evolution on people, and they had almost like animalistic intelligence, predatory intelligence, and a hierarchy. Like this is the head zombie, his queen, and other zombies like that close to them are next in the chain of command, right the way down to everyday peon zombies, if you like. I did like that. I thought that was quite cool, and that in itself, the whole there's spoilers here for people who don't know, but the whole she was pregnant carrying
Mm.
the first child to come, etc. The way he interacts with her, the way he waiting for those motorbikes to go in the background, but the way he, like you can see how he touches her belly, and there's this connection in a sense. He knows the child is there, and yeah, the acting was great around that to convey it. On the same note, though, there's a part where yes, she dies, and it's kind of in the fields where the head zombie, discovers that and knows that the child is potentially is gone too or
Mm.
extinguished, and I felt that there was that first scene that summed it all up. You got the feeling like he's destroyed now. His whole life and world is gone from him, from her to the child that's coming. I didn't feel they needed to drag it on the way they did. Then it's suddenly like the body gets taken into a whole hole full of zombies, and then like literally cuts the baby out to literally show the viewers that the baby is now dead. You didn't need to do that. We got it. We knew she was pregnant. Now she's dead. We could have left it there with him, his whole world destroyed. And in my opinion, the next scene should have been him coming into this hall full of zombies, and he's enraged and incensed, and it like gives us command or whatever for them to just hunt these people down. That would have just been better for me. I don't think they needed to carry it all the way they did, in my personal opinion. But that, in and of itself, for me, was probably the most in the feels moments. I found I was connecting more and I was feeling more for the zombies and this child and wife that was gone, as opposed to all these people invading their territory and stuff, personally. I thought the ending was so cliched. It was like every other fucking zombie apocalypse movie. Just all of it I saw coming a mile away, and the one thing I didn't like about it was they had established certain rules about the infection and how fast anyone bitten, scratched, whatever, how fast they would turn. Right at the end, it was this last character. He's clearly been bitten, not even scratched or grazed. It's a proper full-on bite. He should have turned way while he was still in fucking Las Vegas, but yet he manages to get out onto an airplane, land in a whole other country before it starts to take it. That kind of shit for me was like, no, you fucked it up. You broke it. You broke your own rules that you established. So look, overall, yeah, it was okay. It wasn't the best one I've watched of these types of things. I enjoyed it, but I thought it could have been better. Hit and miss for me, this movie, Zack Snyder.
Yeah, dude, I want to be honest. Like when you said, I was whelmed at best by the film. So I'm actually quickly Googling something that I want to make sure. Sorry, dude. I can't remember. You're gonna actually have to maybe help me. But yes. So he did Dawn of the Dead back in the day, which was, if I'm not...
No, did he do Dawn of the Dead, or did Sam Raimi did Dawn of the Dead? I think.
I can't remember, but I know Zack Snyder's done an older, like, zombie film. But anyway, that's irrelevant. But like, again, I know I don't need to say this to you, but I'm saying it for the sake of anyone who watches this video. Like, I would go into any Zack Snyder film rooting for it. Sure.
You're a big fan.
And I mean, like, Sucker Punch, everything. Like, all day I can talk about it. And I was rooting for the Snyder Cut like a little girl, like a fangirl. You know, like... But yeah, dude, I went in there, and maybe it's my own fault because I expected like this really deep, like profound thing, and maybe Zack Snyder just wanted to do a fun zombie film. But I felt it cliched. I felt the thing that you said was quite cool. I felt like it was almost like a small copy of Suicide Squad, the introducing of the characters in its own way, like trying to do that style kind of thing. A lot of the times asked, like, well, what's the point? Like, you know, like almost they wanted a sample of the zombie or whatever. Like an extraction team could have went in and done that anyway. You know, like the person who takes them around, the girl. It's like, they could have just asked them, like, kind of thing. You know, like, go do it quickly. You know, like, but it's this, you know, whole bring Batista in, and it's, I don't know, dude. Like, and again, like you said, the ending was cliche, and I don't know. Like, I kind of was just like. Again, I wanted to love it, but I was like,
Agreed. There's even the one character that you knew was going to betray some of the other characters, like you say, because he had his own agenda. And when he does eventually end up betraying people, you're just like...
And so that's another thing, dude. When you watch the trailer, and I know trailers are notoriously misleading. They have to be to get you to watch the film there, but... So this is going to sound stupid, but a lot of people's complaints in superhero movies of Zack Snyder is like his visual effects are mind blowing. He's got these amazing fight scenes, but then people feel like it lacks substance. Like a lot of people feel like it's always one or the other with him and not a good balance, which I think the Snyder Cut did well. It was a balance. Now, I was expecting, it's a zombie film. I expected these mental kills and brutal, and there was a little bit of it, but not like Zack Snyder-esque, like I don't know, even like the zombie tiger, it comes in and it's like, hey, what's up? And it kind of like, oh, okay.
Yes, and even right at the end when it does finally get to kill someone, it's not that spectacular. You don't see much of that killing anyway. It was like, oh, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah, and so... Yeah, I just felt like, and you said a lot of what I felt, but like you saw things coming and it was, so yeah, and I feel like people are giving it the pass and people are reviewing it positively because of the follow-up of Snyder Cut doing so well. So now everything Snyder touches is gold temporarily.
This wasn't gold by any...
I agree, yeah.
It wasn't a flop, like you say. I think you summed it up. I think I'd agree with I was whelmed.
Yeah,
something to watch, but it wasn't exceptional. It wasn't trash.
No, agreed. I think, so, it was, and that, something being just whelmed by being a Zack Snyder fan. I was like, but again, you can't win every film. You can't make a masterpiece. So, and maybe it is a masterpiece to other people out there. It just wasn't to me, so, and you.
Agreed. Look, so guys, out there, if you're looking for a bit of entertainment, it's entertaining. It has its moments, but it's not, in our humble opinion, it's not life-changing.
Yeah.
One that I have on my list now that, for me, it was semi-life-changing. I could rave about this fucking film, and I think I did amongst our friend group. It was Old Boy.
Hectic. Yeah, I've got it on my watch list.
Sure, on Netflix. So apparently there was it was a Japanese film, I think based on an anime or a manga. And then that came out in 2012 or 2013. And then Josh Brolin, and they did an American version of it. Josh Brolin, Elizabeth Olsen, Samuel L. Jackson in a no, it's not a cameo role, it's a decent role. And then Sharlto Copley, the South African actor, plays the villain in this film. And dude, if it was a direct shot-for-shot remake of the Japanese one, I don't know, but fuck, this movie blew me away. Starts out a little bit slow burn-ish, where you're like, what the hell is going on? And I dare say for the first 20 minutes or so, maybe even 30, it is very slow burn. You're going, what? Where is this taking us? But in that, the plot and the premise at that point is so fucking mad and out there that I was hooked. I was watching it. I was like, it's this kind of scene and scenario. I don't want to give too much away. I really want people to watch this, but the kind of scene and scenario where I was like, I don't know how I would handle that. Me. If I was in that, I don't know if I would handle it. And I certainly don't know if I'd handle it the way Josh Brolin handled it. There were moments where I thought, yeah, I could see myself doing that, but prolonged, I was like, wow, okay. And then this movie takes this like rapid flick and turn where he goes on a proper rampage, wiping people out, killing people, and all this. There's a lot of seemingly random occurrences or random. I'm trying to find the right word, but it's sort of like meetups or certain characters cross paths in the film, and it seems random. And right as the movie gets to coming up to its crescendo, and that you start to realize that none of it was random. And it's
that
all
sounds like Neil
of,
Gaiman's writing.
Yeah, dude, and it's all part of this larger. It was just, dude, and when I'll be honest with you, when this twist happened, and I think at the end of the movie there's 2 or 3 twists that come at you in quick succession. Did not see any of them. Right the way the movie ends is a twist of itself, and I didn't see that coming either. I was just like, what the? Like, unfucking believable. I will say it's dark. It is one of the darkest fucking movies. And I don't mean dark visually. I mean the idea, the premise, the story is wow. It's dark and it's twisted. And like when it's said and done, I found myself. I didn't actually know what to feel. I was shocked. I was uncomfortable. I was a bit grossed out and on edge, and it was all psychological. It was all just, and I was just like, wow, what an amazing story. So I could give it 20 thumbs up if I could. Anybody
Nice.
watching this, you need to watch Old Boy. Like I said, it's graphic, it's violent at times.
Okay, so a bit of an age restriction, just in case we've got. Okay.
Definitely 18
Warning.
plus. There's some sex scenes. There's some good Elizabeth Olsen. But like you can see, she did this film before she was proper Scarlet Witch, and man, she's hot. Ooh, I can honestly say I would do things to Elizabeth Olsen. I would want to get me some Olsen twins after that. She can have my kid. Wow, she's just hot. Sure, but yeah, a good movie. Everybody needs to watch this thing because it'll probably blow your mind away. And I'm going to say Sholto Copley. Wow, I've rated him since District 9. Then he did with Matt Damon that sci-fi one.
Wasn't it Elysium or something?
Elysium,
Yeah.
that's it. He was in the A-Team as Murdoch. Just every time I see Sholto Copley, he blows me away. And hashtag big shout out to Sholto Copley. Hopefully one day he watches this clip, but I'm a big fan. I'll watch it. And this, he blew me away again.
Yeah, but you might need to correct me, but Old Boy is actually quite an old film.
I think it was 2017 or 2018.
Yeah,
that
you
this
see.
came out. So it's got 3 or 4 years on it already. Yeah, man.
It's crazy how it's just missed the radar, like, because I hadn't heard of it until you told me about it. I went onto Netflix looking for it, and I was like, why is it not popping up on my news screen? It's because it's not a new film, right? So I searched it, and then I'm like, okay, put it on my list, so I know,
Dude, yeah, it just popped up on mine, and I got that trailer that auto plays as it came on, and they showed Sam Jackson, and at first I couldn't recognize it was Josh Brolin, and then I saw it, and I was like, I love Brolin and I love Samuel L., so I'm there, let me watch this. And as the movie unfolds, like, oh wow, Elizabeth Olsen's in this, and then later on it's like, who is it? And when I saw it, I was like, Sholto Copley, oh my god. And then, dude, I was just, it's one of my all-time faves now. Just wow, what a fucking movie. Sure.
Nice.
Next thing that I did get to watch was the second half of Lucifer, season 5.
Oh, I watched that too, yeah.
What were your thoughts on it?
So, dude, I know we felt the same. The first half was just like meh. Like, just that's the only way I can put it. Now, the second half, I felt like they fell a lot more into the rhythm that we were used to. Things felt more natural. It felt more Lucifer-ish, which was cool. Yeah. And I was fine. The ending was cool. It left you wondering if there's going to be a next season.
Yes.
Most
apparently
of it...
there is now.
Yeah.
I've heard that there is going to be season 6, apparently.
Okay, that's cool. I'll be happy about that. There was, like, now it's been a while since I've watched it, but there was the one thing that really bugged me is that from the beginning of Lucifer, they've set up this idea that Chloe is, Lucifer's powers were immune to her or whatever, and she was a gift to him, which also made her really angry at a stage, and just spoiler alerts for anyone who hasn't watched it, but there's that incident, where she basically dies and goes to heaven, and then he finds a way to go find her, and that to me wasn't enough of a payoff from the beginning set up this whole magical thing that, I know you could argue that the gift or the thing was Lucifer's full-on redemption and him turning into a good person over time, but I felt like there was this supposed to be this one aha moment that we were like, oh, and I didn't feel that, and again, some of the fight scenes, like, they could have been way more hardcore for, like, I felt like they toned it down so earthly where these, like, fucking godly immortals are fighting, You know, I'd
Yeah.
expect like in that for them to change things and like buildings to be flying all over the place, and I just
Yep.
didn't really feel that. You know, like the angels of Earth are like coming to a fight, and like Mazakil assembles like 3 or 4 demons that they just conveniently stumbled on in that prison thing they set up in the beginning. I'm like, it doesn't really feel like a, I don't know. So that like in the little stadium, I get it, like the Colosseum style. I saw what they were trying to do, but it just didn't feel like this earth-ending battle, you know. And I know it couldn't have been, you know, Marvel fucking Infinity Gauntlet. I understand, you know, but it just fell short, a little bit short for me. But the emotional beats and everything were cool. Dan's whole little journey, the musical episode, like I tuned out.
Yeah, same here, dude. I just couldn't. It was like fucking a Glee episode, and I was just.
I know.
I get it. There's more creative freedom for these guys to show off their talent in terms of singing and everything, but nah, it didn't work for me.
And also, it felt like the prank that Lucifer played on Dan. It felt like the story writers had something that was supposed to go somewhere with that, and it was supposed to be some like life altering thing. But then it was just like, oh, it's a prank, and you like that was the whole episode. This elaborate prank. It's like Lucifer they've shown all these emotional beats of him growing up. It just felt so out of place for him to be like, psych. So there was a few, but in general, it was 1,000 times better than the first half. The first half, it felt like whoever came onto the show was trying to find their feet and figure it out and stuff.
Agreed. I also thought the introduction or the bringing back of Eve just was also like, really? Huh.
So
I get where they were trying to go with it, and it was a bit tragic, sad the whole way Mazakeen reacts to falling in love or finding someone, her partner or equal, and the way Eve completely opens herself up and Mazakeen doesn't return it. I get that, and there was tragedy there, but it was like it could have been more if there was just more of Eve, like from the beginning, if she came back and you got to see how her and Mazakeen developed this relationship a lot more over time. Then at that moment, when everything transpires in the hospital, it would have been a lot more like, oh my God, this is proper heartbreaking tragedy.
Yeah, so I just want to say this before I forget, because you just reminded me of something, because when Eve is just all of a sudden there, I was like, okay, she's working with Michael. Like, I instantly saw that they had to, and then it was just like, oh, it's just a love story for Maze. Okay.
And a one episode love story, like that's something that carried on right through. It was just like, I like the Mazakeen character, and I would have liked if there was more with that. And I actually kind of liked the idea of her and Eve potentially getting together and just seeing where that goes, where this demon who's trying to figure out that she's more than just a demon, a soulless demon.
Yeah.
I felt that was the right mechanism to potentially give her that, and I didn't really do anything. It was just, okay. But,
and I can't remember when it was. There's something that's bothering me now, and I can't think of it, but there was a stage when, like, I don't know if it was Lucifer and Chloe, they were going on their own mission to, like, try do something or whatever, and they're like, no, we have to do it on our own. And I'm like, you've got all these like angels, like man, what's his name, big warm black dude that Amedadil. He's like one of the greatest warriors. You've got Maze, and they're like, no, we got to do this alone. And I'm like, no, the story's not making sense, because the first thing I would do is call these badass mofos, you know, like.
Yes.
And I can't remember when exactly it was, but it's who. Yeah, I can't remember, man, but, like, they were tracking something down or doing something, but anyway, like, I don't want to... It was someone who got hold of something, and they were, like, powerful temporarily.
Correct. Yeah, I can't remember the whole premise either. There was a couple episodes that kind of just... I was like, no, this is stupid, why are you doing this? And, no. Wasn't it the one with the mini golf? Was it that one, where they're trying to do things... And the ones... I can't remember.
Yeah, there's just this one crime where this dude had got hold of something that was making him super powerful, and they were, like, chasing after him.
Yes.
I
can't remember. it was as forgettable for me about the same episode where they showed you almost like a back in time story.
Yeah.
Flashback to the gangsterous 50s or 40s or whatever. That episode also for me was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to show Lucifer's history with Maze's mom, Lilith. I was just like, not feeling it really. I don't know.
Nah. What was hilarious that I totally had forgotten about, that they hit the nail on the head, was when God arrives and like he's got that like beef with Dan because like he slept with his wife. That was great. That was really good. Like, you know, like this Dan like already freaking shocked out of his life, and now he's got God that essentially hates him. That was good.
That was good. And I like the higher level connotations to that. You get to see a vengeful God, a God who, you know, biblical kind of, I'm going to get my revenge on you.
Yeah.
And then you also late on, you get to see a more forgiving God, a more all-loving God.
Yeah.
When he has his moments with Dad and stuff like that. So I dig that. And I also, it was a bit warped in a way, but I also kind of like this family sit-down idea. That one episode where they all have like a family dinner. And Linda's there to try and counsel this family, this proper broken family, if you like.
Yeah.
I like that kind of idea too. But overall, I agree. Much better than the first half, but missed things at the time, and not. I didn't do some of the stuff. Didn't do justice to this proper good versus evil scale of things.
Yeah. No, agreed.
So, if you liked what Mark and I were talking about here, or just like our content in general,
please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more videos.
And yeah, do us a favor and find us on the social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram.
See you in the next video.